on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Jake Bockoven.
Yes, great to be back with you here on a Sunday evening, ready to talk some pro wrestling on 93.7 The Ticket. I am Jake Bockoven, here alongside my tag team partner, Augie Pena, nuclear heat contributor. Augie, back in his Eagle gear. He took a week off. He's back. How are you doing today, Augie?
I'm doing pretty good, and the reason I'm back in the Eagle gear is because it was such a beautiful day today. I just wanted to be casual with it, and you know, this is the most casual thing. And after the Husker loss, I just so stung by it. I just couldn't put on my Husker gear right now.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I also kind of went through the same thing. I'm dressed in green today. I just I earlier had my Husker stuff on, but I just kind of switched over, I suppose. But it's not to diminish the Huskers. At least they said they've got one more game coming up, or at least going to a tournament, so they're going to attempt that. It's not going to be the Big Ten tournament, so not the result anybody wanted, but alas, it is the result that is Nebraska. The most Nebraska basketball way for this to turn out is kind of how it is. If I liked all the memes and the responses on Twitter, I saw people, like, "Are you new here? Is your first time?" This is it. This is what we do as Nebraska basketball fans.
Yep, it's not just Nebraska basketball; it's football. The last couple of years, it's unfortunately, they're great, but it's been the volleyball season. At the end of it, we get there. We get to a little taste of it, and then it's just like you said, just nope. We're Nebraska. You guys got everything in the 90s, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. What a time it was in the 90s for Nebraska football. What a time it was for wrestling, even. We can't go back there. We just try to do the best of what we can, and hopefully Nebraska's athletic program will get it turned around. But we are here to talk some wrestling, and it is big. It feels somewhat like the 90s, with the wrestling going a little bit mainstream this past week after the John Cena heel turn. Really, again, like I said, just kind of brought a lot of media attention. I mean, there's even, people just kind of want to be back into it, see what it was. So this was a big week for the WWE to capitalize on that. Maybe you're getting kind of the new audience in. And I thought they did a good job putting a lot of titles on the line, putting stuff together that is obviously going to lead up to WrestleMania. So overall, I thought it was a pretty good week.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It's always a good time when wrestling does that. Like you said, they pull out all the stops there. The one thing I will say is I just wish John Cena would be around. I know it's kind of the heel thing of him, he's not around now, all that stuff. But the fact that they're making us wait until St. Patrick's Day for his first appearance from that, I think is the one thing that kind of is holding it back. If I were to have like a negative thing to say,
if you could fantasy boogie, that would make sense to keep your hottest angle going. But I thought just one thing the WWE always does fantastically is put a package together and make you excited for it. And they did that. They played it all week. They're like, all right, well, we already made a hit. Let's just play it. I especially love when the heel turn happens. Yeah. And this package they've been showing, they fade to black. You can hear Michael Cole say, "What the hell?" And then they start shopping, putting all the headlines up. It's just been really beautiful to see that. I thought, again, without short of having John Cena come in and actually advance the storyline forward, again, that they're doing their best to capitalize on it. And yeah, like you said, there could be some things done a little bit here or there that probably would have excited the room a little bit more, but I just thought they put a lot of championships on the line. They opened up Raw with CM Punk on a pipe bomb promo. There were some surprises here this week that I wouldn't necessarily have gone with, but they actually keep the kind of the wrestling community talking as well.
Yeah, no, I think, CM Punk starting, it's always a great thing. And just the way he kind of acknowledges everything is just phenomenal. The thing that bugs me is a crowd in the moment. I think a lot of things just kind of go whoop, over their head, because Randy Orton also said something as well, kind of along the lines of what CM Punk said, and kind of no reaction to it, I think, because they just say it so fast. But that was great there. I personally, kind of like some of the surprises that they did, and we'll talk about that. Yeah. I'm kind of okay with it because we talk about the Super Cena. There was a Super Rhea time, right? They kind of squashed that, and now they're making it a little bit more exciting. On there with some things, but it was a solid episode of Raw on Netflix. They're really building everything up, I think, in a good way. Like we always say, we just got to be patient. And come April 19th and 20th, we're gonna see everything just come about, and I bet you we'll be pretty satisfied with it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun WrestleMania this year. We kind of started on Raw. We might as well just start with how Raw opened up, and we'll go through SmackDown. Again, this is Nuclear Heat, our show here on 93.7 The Ticket, where we every week go back over the last week and WWE Raw. Yes, we know it's scripted, but we like to talk about how it's scripted here. All right, let's. We kind of briefly talked about it. It opened with the CM Punk pipe bomb promo type of feel. He was calling out everybody from The Rock to John Cena to Seth Rollins, throwing out profanities, made it kind of feel like it was, kind of getting there. Of course, Cody Rhodes dropped the big F-bomb in the John Cena heel turn. I do feel like they are inching a little bit too close to, and it's funny to make this comment because people wanted this for years. But you're moving on for the PG era, but you're starting to kind of climb into, should we have kids here watching this, at certain times. I always think with swearing, whether in life or on broadcast, if you do it over and over, then it kind of loses the meaning of really getting it done. So I thought, for the pipe bomb promo, I'm not saying it in here. I thought that it worked out there perfectly, but that was my point, is I thought it was a little bit less like, okay, this is real, because we already have people swearing left and right seemingly right now on WWE.
Yeah. And on that though, did you realize the interesting part about it on Netflix, when they were rerunning the Cena heel turn, they bleeped out Cody's F-bomb there. So I thought that was a little interesting, because I thought they were moving to Netflix to be able to kind of get away with all that. But to your point, a lot more eyes on it, things like that. They probably wanted to. But yeah, CM Punk came out. I mean, I was laughing, at some of the things he said. I don't know what you're able to say or all that, but I just, on it, I don't think we can really repeat what he said on there, but I thought it was a very clever use of words. And CM Punk, as always, I think is just phenomenal at just going with the pipe bomb. This is like his fourth one he's had, and just always delivers there.
And I don't think he's set up, for what it's worth. This was a great way to start the show. People got into it. Seth Rollins came out to confront CM Punk after he kind of got to Seth Rollins, and then they had this brawl that would not stop. As many people as they tried to get it to stop it, it was going to the outside. So a very good way to open up the show. I will say this. People the size of Seth Rollins, again, I have my critiques, but I think they did well. People the size of Seth Rollins and CM Punk being able to battle their way through 20 security guards while enhance this moment, and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
But for me, they're just not big enough. Like, I like to see that when it's the Big Show or Braun Strowman or Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns. It's just like it's more believable that these people cannot be brought to a halt. There's a place, and definitely in wrestling, for Rollins and CM Punk, two of the best in the world. But I don't think that a massive a massive brawl that cannot be stopped would necessarily be the best route that I would go with. But again, that's me being very, very nitpicky, because overall, I mean, people are giving this segment an A+, and I understand why.
Yeah, and you can't forget, like, half of those guys are going to be future world champs too, so that makes it a little bit more interesting. But I'll say this. I really enjoyed it, but kind of what you said about when people like drop F-bombs and things like that, the more you do it, the less it's kind of believable. I feel like they're starting to do this angle way too much. It seems like every episode, some security guards are every episode of Raw or SmackDown, I think for like the past 2 months, one segment, there's always this of two guys want to go at it, security come out, they can't stop them. Whether it's Braun, Jacob, it was, Kevin Owens had a lot of them. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. I mean, you can pretty much every feud has had this happen. So I'm kind of getting a little stale to it. It's fun to see, it was a good use, because you can't have them going at each other just yet, right? I'm very excited for tomorrow, though, as they announced for that. So, but it was a good segment. It's a good time. I'm back into the Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. I know, we were kind of like, it's going to be great, but we'll see what happens. And then I don't know if you noticed or if you saw it, but Becky Lynch mentioned something on Twitter about CM Punk as well. Because I think was it CM Punk said something about,
she told Becky Lynch to come get her boy.
Yeah, come get her man. And so Becky Lynch put on X or Twitter, whatever we're calling it nowadays, that it's not her that should be worried about her man, and then showed a picture of CM Punk, and then showed a picture of Roxana Perez having matching outfits. And everybody's like, wait a minute. Who is she? Who is she trying to tell that to? Hey, if they want to do a Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch versus CM Punk and his wife AJ Lee at WrestleMania, I think that'd be a really.
I mean, we'll all just do anything to get AJ Lee back, right? We don't care how they bring her back, just bring her back. But no, that would be really good, and especially if they started that heat angle on Twitter there, that would be interesting. One other a small note again of a great opening segment that I would have slightly changed is back by the time CM Punk got all the way around and up the ramp to go to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins still was unaware of CM Punk, who's supposed to be in this blood feud with him, right? Seth Rollins is still dancing to his music. Yep. You're just like, I don't even know that doesn't even fit the Rollins character necessarily. So I don't know. Small things sometimes you catch there, but it was a good start to it. And like you said, it does lead to more for us this week as Rollins and Punk steel cage match announced by Raw GM Adam Pearce during the show. So kind of interesting because I've always been kind of into Rollins and Punk because there's been some when they were with different companies, they would talk back and forth and kind of have their own real life feuds going on. So I've always been interested in that. This steel cage, like if it was leading toward a Rollins and Punk again blood feud at WrestleMania, I think that would be great, and this would be the way that I would go. Like, don't hold it off, just have them, raise the stakes every match. But it does seem that at some point Roman Reigns will get involved in this, and obviously, Roman Reigns still owes one to Punk. Rollins obviously curb stomped Roman Reigns the last time we saw him twice, I believe, which is kind of writing him out of the storyline right now. I just don't know. It's such a weird place to be in that I think Rollins and Punk could carry its own at WrestleMania. I think they're going to add Reigns, but it just feels odd that Roman Reigns has been the story that has been great for years they just kind of feels like they're just kind of throwing him in another feud for WrestleMania rather than kind of having his own thing ready to roll, really hot at this point.
Yeah, and that's another thing where if they maybe wouldn't, I agree with you. I would love to see just CM Punk Seth Rollins, right? I think that's kind of where everyone wants it to go on there. But this is another one of those they kind of kept someone off TV for a little bit. If Reigns maybe would have come out the next day and called them both out, right, and they would have just started this feud from there, I think that would have been the perfect way to go. But now, as you said, it's probably he's going to interfere with the steel cage, and then they're just going to be mad that he didn't, kind of like with Drew McIntyre, that he didn't let them finish their feud. And there you go. And it is interesting because, as you said, he's kind of he main evented like 4 WrestleManias in a row or something like that.
Roman?
Roman.
Yeah, I mean, he basically the last 10, I think.
Yeah. I think he broke the record for most main evented WrestleMania nights. And things like that. And yeah, it is interesting because there are a lot of storylines that could be just him. They could have gone with The Rock and, Roman. They could have gone with his bloodline, could have still kept going on there. He could have kept going after Cody, but they're going with this that was created at Mania. And I have no doubt, or at the Royal Rumble, I have no doubt that it's going to be a great match and a great feud. But as with you, then that kind of tells me that CM Punk and Seth Rollins is going to be extended for more time until they can probably have their one-on-one, which, hey, if that goes another year, I mean, we'll see. WWE likes to keep their stories alive if they're selling money like that. And this is just, like you said, they had to fit Reigns in somewhere, and this is the way they chose, I guess.
Well, and the good way of not, burning some of these storylines, like you said, is you can get back to them eventually. So while we say, well, they didn't do it for this WrestleMania, this is what I would have done. Maybe they'll get to it eventually. But to me, it was just kind of this, along with, we'll just announce it now. Rhea Ripley loses later. Yeah. So the Rhea Ripley feud with Liv Morgan, the whole SummerSlam was based around Judgment Day's breakup. What we were watching this year in wrestling, I love for that to kind of feel like it meant something all along by the time you get to WrestleMania. And what we were watching all year long was Solo Sikoa. We couldn't avoid him, knowing that at the end he was not going to win or get on top of the feud against Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. And so I felt like we went through all that, and I thought it was and I'm not, for Cody and John Cena, that part of it is great. Just for the other side, I thought there'd just be some big payoff for all that for Roman, and there doesn't necessarily seem to be. They're just kind of throwing him in with the big names. I can hardly complain about Roman Reigns, Rollins, and Punk at WrestleMania, but I'm doing it as much as I can. I'm just saying, I just kind of it's interesting the way that they've arrived here. Speaking of Judgment Day, that was kind of our next deal that we saw. Judgment Day backstage, Finn Balor tells the group he's going to handle Braun Breaker. I'll just keep saying, I know Judgment Day isn't as cool as they once were, but I love those backstage, just playing darts, looking like you're in the clubhouse.
Yeah, it's a fun time back there. It just, they've all lost. Everybody besides Liv Morgan at this point has just lost everything that they've built, right? When was the last time Finn or Dominic or Carlito? When was the last time Carlito even did anything other than be their funny guy?
Yeah.
Raquel and Liv are the tag team champs, and Liv, of course, was a runner-up, put on the MVP showing in the Elimination Chamber, and we'll see kind of where they go with her for on the WrestleMania card and things like that. But with Finn, I mean, just like you said earlier, you thought it would kind of be Dom being in that picture, right? Of maybe the Intercontinental Championship. And I've heard rumors that they might do like a 6-man or something, how they always do with the Intercontinental Championship. So maybe both of them will be in it. But right now, it's just, they're still just arguing that they want to add another member. And Finn kept saying no, that he'll handle things. And he never handles them because he's always taking a pin somehow.
That's right. Yeah. Would love to see. I still love that group and wish they, like you said, would have a little bit more pack behind their punch as far as the trash talk that they've got going. But we'll see. They've got them in some interesting storylines. Then we had Gunther against Otis, a great match, fun to watch. This is really highlights Otis basically on the roster. He's a classic wrestling from the worm to everything that kind of is his presentation. It's so fun to watch live, and it's good to see him get an opportunity because obviously the comedy characters can get lost in the shuffle at sometimes. But he's very athletic. Gunther ultimately wins this match. It was a good match. I mean, I think they slapped each other's chest. I like how the big men always do that quite a bit in the Gunther matches. But Gunther then went after Otis post-match. Jey Uso comes out. I have to follow him. There's a lot going on here. Jey Uso comes out to make the save for Otis, but then A-Town Down Under comes out with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller and attack Uso, allowing Gunther to ultimately apply the chokehold and maybe kind of show you a preview of what happens if Gunther does get Jey Uso in a chokehold at WrestleMania. So, maybe not something that completely moved the storyline a whole lot. Gunther and Jey Uso still don't get along, but I thought a very entertaining way to move it along a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this, and this is just me nitpicking, just kind of what we do, why we're here to speak about it and whatnot, but I think it's a little dangerous. So it's a double-edged sword. You make Otis look good, have a potential superstar that they thought they had when they gave the Money in the Bank, and then they made him lose it. So, you have Gunther already kind of looking weak, right? He had that whole confidence issue. Now he's going up against Jay, which is kind of a lesser competition. You haven't destroyed Takan. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on his name. Akira Tozawa last week. And now you have him in a great match against Otis, but he struggled against somebody like Otis, right? And this is supposed to be, one of the best Intercontinental champions of all time, who now is the world champ. I don't think that's such a great look.
Yeah.
I know they're furthering the storyline, but there were times where you look, hey, Otis might actually pull. He wasn't, but he struggled against Otis. I mean, that's all you can really say. So I don't think this really did much favors for this feud that is already being overshadowed by so many other feuds. When the Royal Rumble winner for the past how many years, their feuds are supposed to be the hottest main event, they're being overshadowed by Cena. Now the whole Rhea thing is going on there. I mean, there are other things that are just really over. This is maybe like third or fourth on the WrestleMania card now, and I don't think what they did on Monday helped that at all.
No, I can definitely see your point there. While I was entertained by Otis, I do get what you're kind of saying. And again, it kind of goes to that year-long story of what did we do with Gunther this past year to put him over as the champion. And you're right, they haven't done the best job as protecting him of looking like, the guy that's supposed to restore the prominence to wrestling is kind of his character's argument. And it doesn't always look that way. So I could definitely see your point there. Let's move on to the Intercontinental title match on the women's side. Lyra Valkyria against Ivy Nile. Thought Ivy Nile looked really good in her attempts to win this thing. They kind of worked over the match with Valkyria's knee being injured throughout it. So Ivy Nile, the heel, would continue to try to attack that. But ultimately, Valkyria hits a Nightwing for the win. So Lyra Valkyria has now gotten past a few of her competitors in the Intercontinental title division. Is that the last we'll see of Ivy Nile?
I don't think so. I honestly wanted her to win this. I'm not a big Ivy Nile fan, but I thought she put on a great showing here. And while Lyra is good in the ring, her selling is horrible. Her selling those knee injuries were pretty bad. And there was one time where I think she was going for her finisher and her knee was supposed to buckle, and it was not believable there. You know how you talk about, being realistic on things.
Yeah.
That's not how it would go if your knee's going to buckle on you and, you lose your weight there. And we talked about it. I think while, Ivy Nile is a good second competitor for her. First, I don't know, because Dakota, they're kind of, I don't know what their plans are going forward for that with them. But I just don't think Lyra Valkyria has been taken serious as an Intercontinental champion. They haven't been doing her any favors, and so she looks very weak. I kind of just want her to lose it to give somebody else a chance at this point. And she's only had it for like 2 months. But, we talk about it. She didn't have a match forever. She was the second elimination in the Royal Rumble. I mean, you're not doing anything with her. Everybody was so excited for this belt. Move on. Let somebody else do it. See if they can have a better run with it.
Yeah, and it's again, this was the first Intercontinental Championship, so you had thought that they would have some sort of plan for it, and maybe they did, and it just hasn't. The crowd hasn't necessarily been into these matches as much as I think that they would have liked them to be, with the 3 women that have been involved, like you said, throwing Dakota Kai in there as well. So we'll see if they find something to do there. Again, I think Ivy Nile and her group, American Made. I mean, Chad Gable's gold. So at some point they could do something with them, but they might fall into the same category as Chad Gable's less group that he kind of left. Is that Chad Gable's kind of carrying the rest of them moving forward? We'll see. Ivy Nile, I think, does have some potential. She definitely kind of has her own thing going in the ring there. So maybe I was kind of with you. I was kind of hoping American Made might get a belt there and kind of have some momentum moving forward, but we'll see what their plans are. Let's get to the next portion here on WWE Raw as we go back over this last week's episode. Backstage, we saw Karrion Kross convince AJ Styles to call out Logan Paul. Karrion Kross, who I noticed, and I kind of looked into it over the weekend, he is matching his hairstyles with the people that he is talking to. He's always kind of just a slithering snake in the back. But I'm not sure if it's heading anywhere because he does that to kind of everybody. Did that even, you kind of get to the point where did that segment need Karrion Kross? Is it going to factor into AJ Styles and Logan Paul moving forward?
So it's like he's the ultimate pot stirrer, right? I mean, that's what his assignment is right now. Like you said, every week he's on both brands, just, getting other people's skins and having them make horrible decisions, I guess, is kind of his thing. So kind of like the devil on the shoulder, right? Is kind of what he's supposed to be. I don't know. I mean, I've never been a fan of Karrion Kross, but I will say I think this is a hilarious role for him. I think this is kind of a good role for him. Whether we need to see it or not is, that's up to whoever wants to watch it there. But I don't know. I think it's funny. Like you said, I have noticed he had the same hairstyle as AJ Styles. The nice straight and long hair when he did it there. I just kind of wish, he's got the build, he's got everything for it. They never do anything with him except have him call people out and then lose those feuds.
Yeah.
And then they just release his whole crew.
They do.
So they really, I mean, his wife's still safe, I think. I don't think she's been released, but they really got nothing else for him. And like we said, I guess, some TV time is better than no TV time, and he's still at it, I guess. I
just remember his debut with his new character. They called him up one time and tried to have him be like, what's that, like a Spartan or something?
Yeah, with like a mask.
That was bad. That was
his head. And
that wasn't going anywhere. So you don't always get the best gimmick. But when he did re-debut with his clock, and they did this against Roman on like a big SmackDown, and it looked like he was going after Roman. This was when Roman had his belt, and I was like, okay, I don't know much about this guy, but I'm intrigued. And he's never reached that level again. It just immediately kind of just went down the card. And I agree with you, kind of from his look, his brawler attitude, certainly looks like a guy you wouldn't want to run into, in an alley or in a bar fight. But it just never kind of consistently gets a push. So we'll see if they've got something for him. It kind of feels, my point is, I think it kind of feels like they don't have a whole lot for him right now. And I don't know, but they, like you said, they released a lot of his group and kept him. So maybe there's something there to it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at the rest of Raw. what would happen next with Penta, Braun Breaker, and Finn Balor, and then the Women's World Championship match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. We'll talk about all that coming up next year on Nuclear Heat on 93.7 The Ticket.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Leprechaun Lemonade is back at Raising Cane's for a limited time. Enjoy the same freshly squeezed lemonade you love, just made green to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So raise a glass to hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers. Cheers to crispy crinkle-cut fries. Salute to Secret Cane sauce. And toast to, well, toast. Happy St. Patrick's Day from Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion, for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through March 4th is $1 off crisscross pretzels, buy one, get one free on hot dogs, and $2 off on Piedmontese brats. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, and at 168th and Maple Streets in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
A lot of businesses say that they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business feels anything but for your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, as they do with customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Is your office technology holding your business back? At Hamilton, we're more than just an IT provider. We're your partner, focused on building integrated technology solutions tailored to your business needs, both today and for the future. We know that every business is unique, and that's why we provide the services and support you need and nothing you don't. We believe that together, you can continue to serve and support your customers while knowing that your technology is taken care of. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Back to Nuclear Heat with your host, Jake Bockoven on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on Nuclear Heat on 93.7 The Tickets. I'm talking some pro wrestling with you here on a Sunday night. By the way, big shout out to MWA Wrestling, who had an event here in Lincoln. I went to it actually on Friday. It was kind of cool. I've never been to a smaller promotion, I would say, wrestling. I've only been to I went to WCW back in the day, went to WWE, and so I didn't really know what to expect. They put on quite an entertaining show, so if they come, they will be coming back, so look out for that if you do see it out there. Let's keep going with our WWE Raw review here. Ludwig Kaiser cut a promo on Penta. Not much in the segment. Penta comes out and stands tall, wiping Kaiser out of the ring, but just kind of a standstill, I suppose, for what will eventually be Ludwig Kaiser versus Penta, probably in a singles battle, which I will be really looking forward to. I'm assuming that's going to happen tomorrow night, because I don't know if you could roll out another segment like this to put it off another week, but that's going to be excellent.
Yeah, no, and it'll be good. I mean, these are two really hard workers. Penta is really, doing something, and I think Ludwig is really growing into that, really getting away from now the Gunther, to being his own guy. And I know that's your guy, so we'll see. And unfortunately, this is probably going to go in Penta's way, but if they both put on a good showing, there really isn't a loser.
That's right. Ludwig Kaiser is they even he's been kind of being moved up. He's one of those guys that's getting over without going over.
Yep.
Which means that, even in losses, you are looking impressive enough and putting on enough of a show that you're still kind of moving up the card. So he's been taking a lot of losses on programming, but he's been doing so within the company that even his character says this is 2025 is the year for Ludwig Kaiser based on how good I've been doing. If you look at the wins and losses, you're like, I don't know how that makes any sense, but it's just how he's been kind of prominently featured, and like you said, kind of breaking away from Gunther. So I do expect Penta, and as much as I like Ludwig Kaiser, this is not the spot for Penta to take his first singles loss. So I think Penta should get the victory there. We move on then to the World Tag Titles. War Raiders against the Creed brothers, and I think the announcers accidentally said Vikings at one point. Yep. So the War Raiders just can't get away from that. But in any case, they had a good battle here. Again, I think the Creed brothers are really good there and in American made as far as in-ring action. War Raiders, that's never been their problem. They look really big. That side slam that Ivar does to anybody in his way, I suppose, along the outside of the ring always looks fantastic. And so I thought that they put on a really good match here. But I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot as far as moving it forward. The War Raiders win. But we'll see if the Creed brothers, I'm sure, will get another opportunity at some point. What's kind of interesting here is that Chad Gable, who might be back pretty soon, because they showed a little deal with him in Mexico where he got a box. We don't know what's in the box, but it's supposed to help him beat the Luchadors. Remember, Dom Mysterio sent him this destination. So at least this story has Dom Mysterio involved in it somehow. So I think it's going to be pretty entertaining. I don't know what's going to be in the box. I don't think there could be much more than anything except for, are we going to see a masked Chad Gable? Is that what's going to happen?
That's what I was going to say. Is we're going to see Master Gable come out as a luchador.
Yes.
And they're saying the only way to beat him is to join him.
Yes.
And so, I think that'd be really entertaining. That'd be really funny to see somebody like him, with his actual wrestling background, go out there and do what the luchadors do. I think that could be a really fun time.
That would be good, and just kind of keep piling this up, because I think at some point too, you do kind of put it back into Penta and Gable. If that was the route they go, and then I think you've got a heck of a show there. So I'd be looking forward to that. Then we had the Braun Breaker interview. It was interrupted by Finn Balor, who was in the ring. Breaker was up in the crowd doing the interview. Breaker then goes to the ring, but has to deal with Dom Mysterio and Carlito. He's able to do so for a second. Finn Balor gets the best of him due to their attack, but eventually Braun Breaker gets a good shot on Finn Balor, who leaves, and then Breaker hits Carlito with the spear, I believe, to close the segment. So yeah, kind of a good stuff forwarding. Again, Braun Breaker, Finn Balor. I think, besides the fact that Breaker's character hasn't been face or heel, kind of in the middle, the crowd's always ready to bark for him. So he's kind of it feels fine that you don't necessarily have a huge, I guess it doesn't feel like the crowd's necessarily on one side or the other. They're intrigued, just not necessarily knowing who to cheer for.
Yeah, and I mean I think that's fine at this moment, with him and everything here. I don't know. He still it feels, I know he's got something going, right? But it just still kind of feels lost in the shuffle. And it just like, he's almost a secondary character in all these storylines he's in. Cause he's in with so many, like 2 weeks ago it was AJ Styles, right? We thought it was heading that way. Then it was Dominic. Now it's Finn. Like I said, I think the rumors are that, he's going to have like a 6-way or whatever, maybe a ladder match, for his Intercontinental Championship. But, like I said, he just kind of feels like he's always a secondary, just not in enough feuds not in a feud long enough to really be the guy in it. And I don't know. I don't think I really like that as much.
Well, be careful what you wish for, because we can have Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser running back with him for the next 3 months if you want to do that again.
I mean, I'm good. Although I will say those were great matches. Just if you're not going to give Sheamus that let him be the Grand Slam champion, you got to move on from that.
Well, and maybe to your point, maybe that's kind of what you eventually is round this back into, is get everybody that kind of had a storyline with the Intercontinental title recently, put them, all together and have a 6-way match. Throw AJ Styles in there if he doesn't have anything for Mania, and obviously the Sheamus storyline of not winning the Intercontinental will always be there. So, maybe that's the way we see it go.
It could be that, or can you think of it? So a ladder match, a 6-man ladder, or a battle royale at WrestleMania to start it off. Let's say match 1, a 20-man Royal Rumble for that. I think that'd be phenomenal. I don't think that's ever happened at WrestleMania, so that could be something new they do for the.
Well, they had the Andre at WrestleMania before. That's got moved off. So
I'm
you
not,
want higher stakes of the Andre?
Well, I meant like on the main card, right? Because hasn't Andre always kind of been on the pre-card?
I think the first year when the first in 2 years, I think it was on the WrestleMania. At least the first year when Cesaro won it.
Yes,
put Big Show over. That was kind of a big deal. Remember, he came back a Paul Heyman guy the next night. They went off that, which I always wonder what would have happened because I'm a big Cesaro fan. But yeah, for a second, it's just been slowly moving back as far as importance.
Now it's on SmackDown.
Now it's on SmackDown, and I still look forward to it, even though last year's was booked about as poorly as any wrestling match I'd seen throughout the year. Women's World Championship here between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Thought to just be a formality. Now, these two are going to put on a good show one way or the other. Obviously, two of the top women wrestlers in the world. But ultimately, this was about a storyline to somehow, at some point, we're going to have to see how Bianca and Rhea Ripley were going to get their own feud going. And it started just in this match, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky going about it. And then Rhea got insulted that Bianca was rooting for Sky. Sky was able to take advantage and hit an over-the-moonsault for the victory, surprising many in the wrestling community that they would make this choice at this time. It obviously looks like it's going to set up a triple threat for WrestleMania between the three if Rhea Ripley invokes her rematch clause. Sky remains undefeated against Rhea. I thought they did a really good job of focusing on those statistics going into the match because it did feel like Io didn't have much of a chance here. And also, it was kind of interesting. She borrowed some moves from Damage Control throughout the match, so that made it kind of fun as well. But ultimately, the bigger story here is Io Sky is your new women's champ. Rhea Ripley is not. After the year of Rhea will go into WrestleMania probably looking for a belt, not having one.
Yeah, and, one thing I will say about this, and here we go again being nitpicky with it, there should have been disqualification because Bianca, while the ref was watching, pushed Rhea ringside.
Yeah.
And they didn't, they just let it keep going, right? So that was a little confusing on that. But the second part about it was, I think this is good because we were talking about how Rhea once again was kind of getting stale with that championship, right? She's only kind of had it, hasn't really done much with it again. I know she defended it once or twice since she's had it, but really, she wasn't even on the Elimination Chamber card, right? Like I don't. Was she on the Royal Rumble card? I don't even think she's on the Royal Rumble card. I don't think
one
so.
of those times she fought Liv.
yeah, on there, something like that. And it's just that now, And especially after her backstage promo, where she says she did this to herself, everyone that's her friend, the reason she gave Io, she cost Io her match into the Elimination Chamber. So she felt like she had to, because Io was her friend, she's like, I owed her one, and now it backfired on her. So I think having Rhea need to chase the title again, I think is the best storyline for her. And also, I didn't realize, if they even do rematch clauses anymore, because it seems like everybody forgets about them on here. But I think I'd be a little bit more interested because, as we talked about it, Bianca, she did something on Friday, in her own feud on there. We were kind of discussing how she would do it. Now you've got these three. I think it could be a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, see, to me, it's just kind of like sometimes the triple threats just kind of feel like, I feel like if you're building storylines, it's usually, two teams meeting at the end to battle it up. And triple threats can be fun, but to me, it just kind of distracts from the match. Like I think Rhea and Bianca would be great, if you had a really great feud behind it. Throwing Io in there, especially as champion, she's still going to be the underdog. Yeah. It's just kind of odd. And it's kind of going back to the CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins thing. It'll be great. Just doesn't always feel like you kind of get your ultimate. These two have been battling, and here's how the feud finishes. You just kind of get this messy three-way there in the end. And again, it will be a good match. It's just for the whole year. Rhea Ripley seemed to have the company strapped to her belt, right? She was a rocket in the industry, and it just felt like, okay, what is this all leading to? And it was weird when Bianca won, because it was like, how is this going to tie back to Rhea? And so this is the way they decided to do it. Again, I'm surprised that they had kind of throwing some of their better stars that they built throughout the year into triple threats instead of having something finite and ready for them to kind of go after here.
Yeah, and every point you made there is valid, 100%. I agree. Like we said, after the Elimination Chamber match, I know we were tired of it. We kind of wish they would have went with Liv Morgan and Rhea, right? Because they actually have something there.
Yeah.
Whereas Bianca, Rhea, and Io are friends. I mean, that doesn't really work. They're supposed to be heels on there, and I know, because now you're curious, because after Friday, I thought maybe Bianca could turn heel, right? And the whole Jade, she didn't. She did the total opposite. It's unless there's another twist coming, but it's like,
are they all going to be faces going into this?
And that just doesn't make sense, because that's probably why John Cena had the greatest heel turn of all time. Is you can't have a mega baby face against mega baby face. And I mean, out of the women's division, who are probably three of the top baby faces right now? It's Io, Rhea, and Bianca. And now you have all three of them going at it. I mean, there's no real stakes other than a championship. And I know it's wrestling, and all that stuff, but there's supposed to be a story behind it, right? Like there's supposed to be this drama, this buildup on it there. But no, you got three good friends. And I mean, like I said, Rhea, is kind of in her feelings right now. But for Ian and Bianca, they're one got a title and one won, the Elimination Chamber. So I'll wait. I'll be patient. Like we always say, it's just right now, it's 5 weeks out. It's just not really making sense.
Yeah, I still think if you just would have given Io Sky the Intercontinental Championship, maybe wouldn't have been as good for Lyra Valkyria, but she could have kind of started something there. I wouldn't even mind a Bayley Io if you heated that back up for round 2 for a different title, get something like that going. But it's definitely good for Io's career that she's in this. So it was a good week for her, but just kind of interesting to me the way that they're going about that setting up that match. All right, let's take a quick break. We've got all of SmackDown to talk about. Randy Orton back on the mic and made his return, and LA Knight looking to get his championship back from Shinsuke Nakamura. We'll talk about that coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.
A lot of businesses say that they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business feels anything but for your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, as they do with customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Picture this. You're in the doghouse and flowers just won't cut it this time. Enter jewelry, the ultimate peace offering. It's a gesture that speaks volumes, showing her you're willing to go the extra mile to make things right. So next time you're in the doghouse, remember, diamonds are a guy's best friend too. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Spring storms can unfortunately lead to power outages. While LES line workers go out in the storm, you can stay in, but you can also help by reporting your outage right away online at les.com/report.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Just about everyone from every part of the state wants to win one of the 8 gray 2025 Ford F-150 XLT trucks in Trucks and Bucks, your Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch game. But remember, since Nebraskans of all ages and locations around the state just love this game, tickets will sell fast. So play today and experience the power of gray. Trucks and Bucks top prize odds are 1 in 336,000. Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company.
Back to Nuclear Heat with your host, Jake Bockoven on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on Nuclear Heat on 93.7 The Ticket, ready to talk some SmackDown here from Friday night. It took us 2 segments to get through Raw. Sometimes that happens. Well, with all apologies to SmackDown, we're going to have to run through it rather quickly, and we can do so. WWE SmackDown opened up. McIntyre attacked Damian Priest before we even got to the open of the show, so kind of let you know of ongoing story that was going to be happening throughout the night there. Randy Orton has his promo, very much a face promo. He's still on the good side of things, but he does let you know he's hearing voices again as he was talking about lining up the punt against Kevin Owens, which ultimately Kevin Owens got out of the ring there at their previous premium live event. But it's kind of interesting. That definitely seems like a move that they're bringing back for Netflix, right? That's a move that was probably a little too graphic for TV at some time. Not graphic, just probably not the message you want to send the kids. They can line people up and punt them like that. But I think this is I think we're getting Randy Orton's punt back because of the era that we're moving into.
Yeah, because that was a move that was banned, along with the curb stomp was banned for the longest time,
That's
and they
right.
brought this back. So, and then whatever the pile driver
Yeah.
thing that they're doing, so they're just unvaulting everything. Which I love this because it's still a face Randy Orton, but he's bringing out the Viper tendencies,
Yes.
right? And I think in order for Kevin Owens and Randy Orton to be successful, you just need them, just let them both go. This is one of those, I don't care if it's heel versus heel. That's when I think these two do their best. I know Kevin or Randy's going to be technically the baby face on this, but even when he's a heel against Kevin Owens right now, the crowd's going to go for him.
Yeah.
So they're kind of at a win-win. And I thought his promo was great there again. And once again, he kind of went off on John Cena too, called him something that we probably can't repeat here on air, but I'm kind of really digging what they're going with there.
Yeah, DP asked me the other day the top wrestlers in the world, and I didn't mention Randy Orton, and I should have, because he's always so fantastic, and especially this era of him where the crowd is really behind him. He's one of the best heels of all time in company history. But it's fun to see him on the goods with the people on his side. He might only have 6 moves, but damn it, those 6 moves are great when he gets them going.
Well, I mean, I would say, and people can argue this, the RKO one of the cooler names of all time, and it's his initial, so that just works out too. I mean, just it's the finish on it, I mean, the RKO out of nowhere, that has to go up top 5, finishing move, just moves of all time. So he's really got something going with that.
Yeah, it definitely does. Let's move on here. Tiffany Stratton had to take on Piper Niven. I shouldn't say had to. She wanted to. She set up this match in a backstage promo where Chelsea Green was trying to make sure it didn't happen, but it did. And actually, Chelsea Green didn't come out alongside Piper Niven. Stratton did defeat Niven and then got laid out by Charlotte Flair, and the crowd didn't really react, which isn't good. Charlotte Flair, usually when she makes her returns, it's just the place is going crazy. It feels like Ric Flair's back in the building. And now at this point with Tiffany Stratton having your top belt in the company, I don't know. Charlotte was not also, ring gear matters. I don't know if everybody recognized who it was, even though you should know if the story's kind of going on. But ultimately, it's just kind of been the same thing. Charlotte Flair laying out Tiffany Stratton.
And now that I'm thinking about it, because we talked about it a little bit, before off air here. Now that I'm thinking about it, she hasn't come back in the queen apparel. She hasn't been the queen.
Yeah.
She's going into this new fashion, her own thing, which I think is really, like you said, backfiring on her. Because when the music hit, you expect a big cape with the feathers, her to come out and go,
look like the queen.
Yeah. Look on. And right now, this is to be, no disrespect, but she looks like, a version of Marvel's Squirrel Girl out there. She just, it didn't look right. Like you said, she's kind of unrecognizable since she's came back. And I really think the WWE is probably regretting giving her that Royal Rumble win, because this was supposed to elevate Tiffany Stratton. And to me, they're just making Tiffany Stratton look worse because, she's losing feuds. She's been taken out by Charlotte Flair now 3 times, I think. They haven't really had an interaction. It's just talking, and Charlotte, comes up when she's down, or on this one takes out her knee. It's just not doing what it's supposed to do. And I think a big part of it is people are just tired of Charlotte being gone for a year and a half and then coming back and instantly getting a title match over somebody like an Alexa Bliss, somebody else who while she was out for 2 years, it feels like she hasn't gotten as many chances as Charlotte does. And I think people are just finally getting tired of it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they've got to do something other. I think it's also just the repetitive same thing every week.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, it's not this. I already saw this last week. So they've got to do something there to heat that one up. Quick, there's a triple threat for the number 1 contenders match, which Pretty Deadly surprisingly won. So they'll take on the winners of DIY and Street Profits. Everybody's fighting each other in the tag division on SmackDown. So at least entertaining there. The best cinema of the week was either this segment or the next. Bianca Belair called out Naomi, who wouldn't admit that she was the one that attacked Jade. Eventually, she does break. She admits that she does the attack. So a lot of tears, a lot of drama, really good acting here. And then Jade Cargill hits the ring, walks right by Bianca Belair, who's so distraught that Naomi would do that. It's kind of like, all right, go after her. I'm done with this. and Jade Cargill goes and beats down Naomi. So it was all really good stuff. The only problem I have is the second time Jade Cargill has beat down Naomi, before we actually hit in any ring action, has she already kind of got her comeuppance? Does it feel?
I mean, it does feel like that, but this has the sniffings of a WrestleMania feud now, on there. And I, like you said, Oscar-worthy performance from Bianca and Naomi, just sold it on there. I thought this was great, but like you said, we're a little confused because we thought Bianca would maybe turn heel on this. They made her more babyface, which is kind of the way she did it, which I don't know. I mean, they got to do what they got to do, and now she's out of it, and now it's just Jade and Naomi.
Yeah, lines up that way. It's kind of Bianca to get written out of that feud. So then Braun Strowman had a battle with Solo Sikoa. Tama Tonga got involved for a DQ in the match, but Strowman was able to get those guys out of the way. But that is when Jacob Fatu came out. Then they had the stare down. I mean, these guys just have a lot of chemistry, aura, if you will. And ultimately, Braun Strowman looked to get the best of Jacob Fatu this week as he put him through the tables, but Fatu bounced right back up. Yep. So does again look like they're heading toward WrestleMania there. We got to wrap it up here, so kind of go quickly. Chelsea Green against Mishin for the U.S. title. Crowd was chanting ECW. Chelsea hit a coast to coast. The fire extinguisher involved. There's a lot of great stuff. Chelsea was even dressed as Cactus Jack. So just a lot of really good stuff and a movement in the story. Finally, we've seen a lot of Chelsea Green Mishin without movement in the story. And this time, Alba Fire makes the save for Chelsea Green. So it looks like Chelsea Green is adding to her bodyguards. We also had Cody Roman's promo telling John Cena to come get some. We had Drew McIntyre beating up Jimmy Uso, and then Priest getting his revenge on Drew McIntyre. So kind of lining that up for WrestleMania. And then we finish off the night with LA Knight regaining his U.S. title after beating Shinsuke Nakamura, who incidentally hit Little Nate, referee Charles Robinson, with the miss instead of LA Knight. So LA Knight gets the BFT and the victory. So kind of a quick recap there. What was your kind of biggest takeaways from SmackDown this week?
Yeah, Chelsea Green, when they allow her to do something great, on there, she shows what she can do. Cody, phenomenal, on his promos as always. And hey, LA Knight, U.S. title. I don't know what they're doing there, but hey, he got it back. So hopefully Shinsuke Nakamura is nowhere near it, because I don't know why they gave him that. But it was a decent SmackDown. They had some good matches on it, I thought so. And like you said, had some movement on some storylines. So you can tell we're really getting into that WrestleMania season. Yeah.
So again, I think you're lining up for Drew McIntyre and Priest and Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu. For those that like big man that fight, that will be fantastic. And I hope they've got something lined up for Chelsea Green with that storyline as well. And I agree with you. Shinsuke, I love Shinsuke Nakamura. I even love the new presentation of him, but it just didn't feel like that was going to lead you to WrestleMania. Putting it back on LA Knight gives it an opportunity. Maybe you rerun Logan Paul. I don't know exactly what storyline they'll get to, but LA Knight definitely feels like he can kind of carry that into WrestleMania a little bit better.
Yep, agreed on that one. So, just excited to see what they do, but pretty solid week of wrestling, I'd say, for us.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have another solid week, I believe, this week, and we'll talk about it on Nuclear Heat right here, same time next week on Sunday, 9 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk